Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Alright, please subscribe to my channel. This is the beginning of the video, not the end. And give me a like down below. I'm going to start saying that in the beginning. A good friend, the dude who actually helps me in my parents' rental properties, he suggested that. He's absolutely correct. So please subscribe and give me a like down below. I'd really appreciate it. All right, I want to go back to the same story about Botham Jean, shot in his own apartment by the off-duty officer who says she mistook his apartment for her own. Okay, and I actually I had a working theory last night about about the weed, and actually that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the search warrant and what they retrieved from Botham Jean's apartment. And I will say, I'm going to just get right to the point that after reading through it and thinking over it a lot, I don't know why I didn't see it before. I'm going back to my original position that I more or less, maybe not down to every last detail, I actually believe her story. And her story makes sense. And it's based on this search warrant, and I know there's a lot of people that think, these things were planted. And, and that I don't know if some people actually think that she just flat out executed him or what, or just silly stuff that just makes zero sense. I believe she shouldn't have shot. She shot too soon. You could call it trigger happy if you want, and I guess we could debate whether or not, if she's in her own home, if that would be fair. But nobody wants to debate that because she wasn't in her own home, and I don't either, really. But I will say, based on what they retrieved on this search warrant, I'm going to read them to you. Okay, it's 2 fired cartridge casings. I guess those 2 bullets she shot him with, 1 laptop computer, which I actually think, I'll tell you at the end. One backpack with police equipment and paperwork. 1 insulated lunchbox. 1 black ballistic vest with police markings. 10.4 grams of marijuana in Ziploc bags. 1 metal grinder. I don't know if that's for the weed or what. 2 RFID keys. And 2 used packages of medical aid. Okay? Here's the right to the point. Those are her contents. Those are hers in his apartment. He didn't, initially I was like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. He's got a bulletproof vest in his apartment. The marijuana's hers too. It's from her doing her job. It's 10 grams of marijuana in Ziploc bags. That's from some case, or it's from the last arrest she had in the day or something like that. It is. That's her contents, all of it. And it's meant to indicate, obviously probably the police are conducting this investigation to help prove her innocence. Not her innocence, but prove her story. And that's to indicate she brought all that stuff into the apartment. Even if it was just into the hallway right inside the front door. She made entry into that room on her own, in my opinion, without somebody opening that door. And even though this same search warrant says that she was confronted by, a male resident, an unknown male resident or whatever at the doorway, it says inside the apartment. It is inside. He didn't come to the door and open the door. That door was unlocked, or it was ajar. I don't think it was ajar. I don't. I think she's mistaken about that. I think it was unlocked and she put her key in it and it just opens because it's unlocked. There has to be a way for those doors to be entered without a key. It can't be that no matter what, if you leave that apartment without your key, you can't get back in. It just can't be. There's just no way. Every home has a way to make it so that you can get back in without using the key. And in this case, it's just by unlocking it. And the lock report on this door eventually is going to show that. It is. But these contents, even the laptop, it's probably her. So she had her hands full of all her stuff that she brought home that night from work. A laptop, a backpack with police equipment and paperwork, 1 insulated lunchbox. That's her lunchbox. A 1 ballistic vest with police markings. These are all her things that she had in her hands at the front door. She's getting off work late at night, 10 in the night after a 15-hour day. in a late arrest, which might have been the 10.4 grams of marijuana in Ziploc bags. That's not his weed. It's hers from doing her job. And all I'm trying to illustrate is that all that stuff was in the apartment. She had to have brought that into the apartment herself. And it wasn't after the shooting. No way. It was before. And when she's putting this stuff down, he woke up. And that's when it all started. And it probably was the lights off. I mean, that just tells a lot for me. I'm not trying to take sides on this woman. I'm trying to tell what I believe really happened. And that's what I believe happened. Okay? So it says was attempting, and the other parts of the thing in there about, that it differed from the affidavit. And this is the night of. This is September 7th. It's actually Friday. So it was probably late into the night after Thursday night, early morning hours Friday, that this search warrant affidavit was signed by some judge. But it says was attempting to enter apartment 1478 with set of keys, an unknown male inside the apartment confronted the officer at the door. But I think that's at the door in the hallway, not inside the apartment, because all these contents are in the apartment. There's no way she would have brought that stuff in after the fact. I don't think the police brought it in after the episode. No way. No, they wouldn't change the crime scene like that. It was in the hallway of the interior of the apartment because she brought it in on her own after she entered the door that was unlocked, in my opinion. Okay? Trigger happy, fine. But a lot of her story is what she thinks happened. She just mistook his apartment for her own. That's my opinion. So, and then it says, an unknown male inside the apartment confronted the officer at the door. A neighbor stated a different person, not one of the two girls, two women, young women. A neighbor stated he heard an exchange of words immediately followed by at least 2 gunshots. That open up, my opinion was hands up, hands up. He's in his own apartment. He doesn't have to obey commands to an officer. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is she was saying hands up, not open up, in my opinion. And, and according to her story, he didn't, obey her commands. Again, he doesn't have to obey commands in his own apartment, whatever. He might have even been sleeping, and she woke him up. It's very possible. The officer possibly believed the subject was an intruder, drew her service weapon, and fired at the subject, striking him in the chest. It's just a damn shame. It really, really is. How did it go? What was the knocking? I don't know. I don't know about that. That could be anything. That could be her throwing her stuff on the ground when she saw that, there was somebody in the apartment that she thought was hers. It could be her leaning up against the door and going like this, and the door slams across, slams into the wall and just hits it a couple times. It sounds like a knock before she says, open up, open up. And then he probably does say, oh my God, what did you do after she shot him in the chest that killed him? And that's the story there, man. That's what I believe is the situation right now, and, I think some people aren't even watching the videos and they're just making comments. It's like this public relations campaign that's going on a little bit. Not everybody, but there's some of that. I see some of that in the comments. And, everyone's just going to believe what they want to believe. But I just kind of want to know what happened. Doesn't mean that I'm, Mr. Wonderful, but that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a like down below, and I will see you in the next video. Later, man. See if I can